is. What song is this?
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the Commish show. Brian here with my co-host Alton. We're going to hop right into it. We got a special guest coming in a little bit later on. I think everyone will enjoy that.
Oh, it's going to be a good one here.
I think so. So we'll hop into our Week 2 recap. We're going to start with your game.
Yes, sir.
And you got a pretty big L.
I couldn't afford the loss. Really hurt me. Had some piss poor play from some people. I know Jordan Howard was hurt. It was a tough decision to keep him in, even though they said he was good to go. But I have to give it to Tampa Bay. Definitely took the lead early, and their defense got some touchdowns for him to take Howard out of the game. And then Brandon Cooks too, for me, kind of hurt me. You know, he's projected to have a big week. Brady went off. Gronk had a great game. We'll talk about that later. But Cooks and Howard definitely hurt me. Looking to possibly make some trades. With everyone knows who we're trying to trade with. It's a no-brainer. But but you gotta give it to Andrew.
You do have to give it to Andrew. His team killed it. He had high points this week. He has a ton of points on his bench. Emmanuel Sanders went off. J.J. Nelson had a pretty decent game. Everyone.
Overall,
Delaney Walker, huge game.
Not too upset.
Ty Montgomery, huge game. Pretty much every person he has on his roster had a great game.
My 2 losses have not come due to shitty play. I've lost to you last week. You had the second highest points, and this week I lost the high points. So, just a couple little changes here, maybe a new QB coming in, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. But one of 3 0-2 teams. How do you feel about that? It's got to be tough.
It's my prediction on Rick is still holding up.
Yeah.
But to be the 0-2, I didn't think I was going to start that way. I thought I drafted decent, but we're hopefully going to get the win this week coming up with.
Good matchup. Definitely a good matchup.
We'll
move to our next game.
We'll mention it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Move to our next game, and another 0-2 team, Mannion. He took on the auto draft Mike team. No one's really heard from Mike. He's not in the group chat, so
yeah,
a little MIA, but his team won. A low-scoring game again. Both teams under 100.
The big thing was Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson got 0. He got hurt early. That's always tough.
Early first quarter injury, and other than that, I didn't really look at a lot of bench points. A lot of
bench points for Mannion. He changes a couple things up, and he wins this game
if you look
easily.
At Mike's team, though, he had if he's going to put in White, White with 17 points over, Powell for 1.3. That's a big swing right there. That's
It is. It's almost like he auto-drafted his team, and I don't know if he's changed anything. I don't recall exactly, but it looks very similar to last week's lineup. I don't know why he's starting Bilal Powell.
Yeah.
The Jets are just not a great team.
Like you said, I think you said it earlier to me. I think any wide receiver on the Jets, they're number one. Like you said, they have to throw it to somebody.
Yeah,
but as a running back situation out of the Jets' backfield, I don't like any of them, to be honest.
I agree. Move on to the next game. We have one of our 2-0 teams, Pickle Rick, Sean. He took on Frank, who was 1-0. This was a good matchup, close, pretty high scoring. Sean takes it away.
Yeah, we were watching this one closely just because we knew Frank had the kicker to go last night, and it was kind of close. But a couple big plays that I saw from Sean's team late in the game. Devontae Adams, that touchdown he did have
garbage time. Garbage time winner for Sean that game. 23.9 from Adams.
Yeah,
most of that probably. You got to think at least 15 of those were when they were losing big already.
They were losing big already, and they knew they had to air it out. But regardless, Aaron Rodgers, they're not really a running team, the Green Bay Packers. But I have to give it to Ty Montgomery, converting from wide receiver to running back. He's looking good. But even Frank, Frank had some big players that were sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they left some points on the bench.
Talk about Elliott, getting shut down by Denver to 8 yards. That's something to say there.
Love to see that as a Giant fan, too.
Well, the Giants are 0-2. That's not looking good.
Yeah. Move on to the next one. We have Tim Barry against RJ with the fear bonus. RJ lost his top draft pick, first overall, actually, last week. He lost Allen Robinson, one of his top tight ends, and he lost this game pretty heavily. You look at Tim's team, C.J. Anderson, monster game.
Yes, sir.
Derek Carr, big game. Crabtree, 3 touchdowns. I mean,
And then you also look. I mean, Jimmy Graham with only 1.1, and Odell, 7.6. I mean, from those two to only get less than 10. I know things are going to level out as far as Crabtree and Anderson, but you're looking for a little bit. I mean, Odell coming off injury, you're going to have that's respectable, 7.6 with a Giants team that's kind of been struggling on offense. But I mean, RJ's team, everyone, a lot of the wide receivers never. And running back didn't even get over 10 points. That's going to hurt you.
Yeah,
I mean, only 3 people over double digits.
Those 3 players I mentioned for Tim too, they outscored RJ. 3 players outscored his entire team. That's tough.
That's really tough to beat at any time.
All right, move on to the next one. We move on to my team. Took an unfortunate loss here against Armand. Got to give it to him. His team did well, 119 to 108. Wasn't as close as it seems. He had Eli and the Giants defense to go. I only had an 8-point lead going into Monday night, and he took it home.
Yeah, I mean, didn't look anything special. I mean, Amari Cooper only putting up 7.3. I mean, with Derek Carr airing it out and Crabtree getting all the touchdowns there. But I mean, both teams don't look too bad. I mean, the tight end struggle for you, kind of still going on with that Jesse James.
Yeah,
go.
My tight ends are very light right now. I'm going to have to either make a trade or do something at the tight end position because it's not working the way it is.
Looks like Armand has a pretty solid team. I mean, his bench, plenty of points on the bench there. Seems like he can mix it up, week by week depending on matchups or, And it was a big surprise for me. Big Ben not getting the start and Eli getting the start in his lineup for me. That was kind of interesting.
That was definitely an interesting one. And then he has a lot of bench points as well. He has 2 people who were high on his bench. He's trying to get rid of them. He's trying to sell them high. We're going to talk about some stuff that happened a little bit later. But with Armand,
controversy here.
Yeah, a little bit. But we move to our next game, and this is where we call our guest in.
We're going to call the guest in right now.
Oh, it's good to be here.
All right, so we got Logan here with us, and like the song says, he definitely gave us some wild thoughts. But first, we're going to look at your game. You're 2-0. How you feeling right now?
Feeling confident. Very confident, Put some good trades out there. I was offered some good trades, some of them people didn't like, but, I feel like they were some good trades.
Yep.
And if some people, who I'm not going to mention, didn't get in the way of that, I probably would have had a solid team. I still have a solid team.
I think I beg to differ on that solid team. You're giving up 3 players for the one player.
On.
I mean, it's very hard. But anyway, let's talk about the game first, and we'll move on to the controversy going around you in our league here.
Yeah, I mean, both teams under 100 again, which to win a game with under 100 points, you have to be psyched about that.
Can't complain about that at any point. I mean, you're looking at Eric's team. Like I said last week, it didn't look too solid. He did make a big trade, though. We saw that. He traded one of his better players to True. We'll talk about trades later.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I think Rick's trying to bounce back. He had 2 bad weeks. Not a lot of depth to his team. I mean, we know he kind of goofed off the last 4 picks, but he's going to try to step it up, and I think he'll get better from there. But Logan again. I mean, Tom Brady with 30 points. You can't. I mean, that's
first round pick.
That's what you
justifiable or not? What do you think?
I still think he went a little early.
No
Logan?
way. Tom Brady's up there on the charts. You can always rely on him. He's always going to bring in the points. That's what I say.
So Rick definitely got some depth. Now we'll move into our trades. We'll start with the one that was confirmed and seems like it's going through. We had Rick and RJ made a trade. RJ gave up Lamar Miller, Jesse James, and who was the third player?
Third player, I am not positive on, but
we're gonna have to double check that. And then Rick gave up Melvin Gordon. So Rick gets some depth that he needs, and RJ gets a very good running back, which he lost David Johnson, so he definitely needed something to pick up the slack there.
No idea where to find this on anything.
That's fine. Logan, you're the trade master. What do you think about this trade?
I think it was similarly along one of the lines of my trades. A 3-for-1 deal. Nobody seems to want to trade for my trades, but they'll pick up a shitty ass deal like that. So
well, I think the difference with your trade was Melvin Gordon is a proven running back, and he is a starter, and he is going to get the touches. And he did not offer. He offered Melvin Gordon for 3, mediocre players that are going to, but he needs to fill positions where, as to you, you're giving up, 3 of your starters, essentially to get one running back that's not the greatest of running backs,
but still better than what he had. What killed me, I had Theo Riddick, he didn't perform, and then I had Stephon Diggs, who sucked, and I had Mohamed Sanu on the sideline that brought in 13.5 points when I had a guy that was only bringing in 2 points.
Well, that's going to happen week in and week out. I mean, as my team, I started my running back and he had points. He ended up with 0.7. So, it's just that's things that it's tough, and you wish you could change them later on. But you got to ride with the team and go for it.
Yeah, that third player was Marquise Lee that Eric picked up. We'll move into the next one. It was one that got vetoed fairly quickly. It was a trade between Logan and Armand, and it was Marshawn Lynch and Randall Cobb for Chris Thompson. What do you think, Logan? This is very controversial. I think,
was willing to play it. Only because...
Why? I'm very curious.
Because, look, Randall Cobb, he didn't do so hot, and now he might be injured, so I was like, all right, well, I'll take it while I can get it. I'll bet on these 2 new guys and see hopefully if they'll perform, because they did perform in the weeks before, so they had high points. I was like, you know what? I'll put them on. We'll see. If they don't perform, I'll just trade them. I don't care.
All right.
But the question is me, myself, personally, I've tried to trade plenty of times with yourself, and I have offered you, similar players, but you don't accept those. A lot of people are wondering, I think, around this league is you send out some crazy trades out there. They get accepted, and obviously they're going to get vetoed. But then when a good trade comes into you, you think it's unfair. What kind of your mindset going behind that?
Well, it's like any common sense thing in business. You don't trade the same. You trade up. Why would I want to trade for the same point value player when I can trade up? Or trade 2 shitty players for 1 really good player.
Maybe that's why they'll get declined.
Because they're too good.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're trading 3 bench players for 2 starters, no one's going to do that.
Problem is, you have to give them something that
you have to look at the other side as well. That's the thing.
And you also have to think of their needs. If they need a tight end, they might be willing to take, maybe a tight end, and let's say they're hurting a little bit on wide receiver. Maybe you give them a tight end and a wide receiver that aren't that great, but maybe might show some promise for the need of that you want. Then maybe some people might be willing. Like I tried to trade with you. I tried trading a tight end to you for a running back because that was our needs, and to do that, we tried substituting 2 running backs for a tight end and a wide receiver. Because the tight ends that I have, so we're trying to complement each other and, to make deals work where maybe we think one player is worth more than just a 1-for-1 trade. You try to throw in an extra bonus of, a couple more players. So, I mean, I think with the trades, we got to get you a little bit more into thinking about a little bit more.
I don't have like a lot of high-performing players in the wide receiver, tight end, and running backs. I have like mediocre players, so there's really like nobody that people would really want. So I'm kind of offering 2 guys to trade for maybe like 1 solid guy because I have like all mediocre players. So that's the only reason why. But
okay,
I think it's fair.
That's fair enough.
It makes sense. Well, I think we should get into your background a little bit because last year was your first year in fantasy. This is your only your second year, so you don't really know it that well, and some people might not know that.
And I'm still killing the game.
He is 2-0, and you came in 3rd last year in our league.
I did.
And there's got to be something to say about that.
Alton.
You beat him in the 3rd place game.
I think I benched all my team players because the 4th place game doesn't really mean anything. But I will say that last year I did decline towards the end of the season. Started off hot. I think I was 5-0, and
3rd place is 3rd place.
Decline.
4th place is he finished higher than you. That's what it comes down to.
That's fine. We'll see what happens this week because we are playing each other.
Like I always say, points talk.
Yeah, big game this week between you 2.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of hatred going around.
I think it's going to be a close one.
What
do you think? I mean, I'm sure. Realistically, what do you guys think?
Realistically, I think it could be a good matchup, depending on what happens on the trade block. You know, what goes throughout the rest of the week, and we'll see what happens. You know, when the waiver wire opens up tomorrow. You know I'm looking for some players out there. I know Logan's looking for some players. I know a bunch of other people in the league are looking for some players. So we're going to kind of get a feel. I'd say by Thursday, Friday, we'll get a feel of, you know, whether or not they're going to be close, not close, and, you know, we'll see what happens going forward in the week.
My team is pretty much my team. You know, what you see is what you get. It's all there.
I mean, to say that Thursday, that's when you're going to find out. Are you going to make that many moves? Are you going to make trades? Are you going to look on the waiver wire? Or is it going to be...
I have a couple waiver wire options that are, you know, pending right now, obviously, until it opens up. But I'm also trying to look for some trades. But we'll see what happens, you know. If the trades don't go through, I feel confident that, you know, I kind of have a set lineup.
You don't sound very confident. You just said you got to pretty much overhaul your squad to have a chance, it seems like.
No, I don't have to overhaul the squad.
That's what it said. You said by Thursday, if you get your waiver picks, then you'll know how you're going to do. Which just makes it sound that this week you're going to do poorly if your team remains this way.
One waiver wire, that's what I was talking about. So
that's going to make or break your team?
I think that's going to make or break your team.
Chances are, if they're on the waivers, they're not that good because everybody else would pick them up. So I guess we'll see.
We will definitely see.
We'll see.
It's going to be a good matchup, and it should be a good week. I'm looking forward to it, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Definitely
Thank you for watching.
0-3. It's fine.
Hey, you never know. Could 0-3 and 3-0. It's a possibility here.
Never know.
We'll see you guys next week. We're going up.